Welcome to Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs, the podcast that dives deep into the stories of trailblazers who shape our world. Lucia Josephine is a Northwest London-based hairstylist and hair artist known for her polished glamour, fashion-forward creativity, and calm, focused professionalism. With over a decade of experience, she brings together a strong foundation in salon work with a dynamic portfolio spanning fashion, editorial, film, and celebrity styling. Lucia began her hairdressing journey at just 15, qualified by 18, and quickly advanced her skills through ongoing professional training. Today, she works on major campaigns and high-profile projects for clients such as Burberry, Alexander McQueen, Netflix, Spotify, Boots, Superdrug, GHD, and Tangle Teaser. Her runway resume includes multiple Fashion Week seasons in London, Paris, and Copenhagen, where she has styled for designers like SS Daily, Roxanda, Chetlo, Kenzo, Labrum London, Mowalola, and more. Whether assisting to top industry teams or serving as a lead stylist and texture specialist, Lucia consistently delivers high-caliber results under pressure. Her expertise also spans film and TV, commercials, editorial shoots, live events, and music videos. She has worked one-on-one with talent preparing for red carpet appearances, while also managing production-ready styling on high-demand sets. Lucia is DBS certified and holds a foundation in cancer hair care specialist services, reflecting her dedication to both technical excellence and compassionate client care. Whether backstage, behind the chair, or behind the scenes, Lucia brings artistry, skill, and a modern edge to every project. Please welcome to the podcast the talented and ever-evolving Lucia Josephine.
Lucia,
hey,
welcome to Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs. We're so excited. Sue and I are so excited to have you here today.
Thank you.
And your resume is seriously impressive.
Thank you.
You know, you started at 15 and you qualified at 18. So that means that you actually weren't of age until 18. And you've done a lot in the industry, and we're so excited for you to share this with the audience. So let's get started. So you stated that you started hair at age 15 and then you qualified at 18. So that means that you went at 15 years old, you went to beauty school, and then 18 you graduated. Is that correct?
Not necessarily. It was more experience first, and then I kind of went and furthered my education once I started going to college. And then I did my first qualification, which was a level 2 in hairdressing at the age of 17. Qualified at 18, and then I further did a level 3 after that. So it was mostly just braiding my hair, friend's hair, from like 14 up.
Yeah.
Anything I could do with hair, I was there.
So what you learned in the early years still shapes what you do today. Can you tell a little bit about that to the audience?
Sure. I think like training, there's so much that goes into it. I think you have to have a lot of patience. I think you have to have a lot of integrity of what you're doing. I feel like you're not just working for yourself, you're also with a client or whoever it is that you're with. I think that the endurance and patience are one of the two things I took that I still use with me today. And also like the perfectionism of it all. I think like not wanting to get it wrong. And like, in the training days, it's like you fear getting anything wrong in the salon, and just like, I think it just all comes into one umbrella, and then, you just kind of take it as you go on.
Well, you've done salon world, and then you moved to self-employment.
Yeah.
But then you also moved on with celebrities and major brands. And I think, especially when speaking to women, when was that aha moment? I think I've arrived. I think this is really happening.
Yeah.
What was it? Tell us that part of it.
Do you know what? I think in this industry, I think every day is a pinch me moment. I just always find myself being like, oh my days, is this actually what I'm doing as a job? Like, I feel like I always get this little pinch me things. I think that the most one is probably in my early stages of my career. I actually got reached out by the amazing Arsema Thomas. She is the young Lady Danbury from Queen Charlotte, a Netflix story, Bridgerton. And she's an amazing lady. She actually reached out to me to do her hair for the press shoots.
Okay.
And I think at that point I was like, little me You want little
Yeah.
me to come and do you.
Wow.
Wonderful.
I was just like, it was amazing. And I was still quite early in the career. I was still only maybe about 3 years in. So I was really, really shocked. And, you know, about 4 months before that, I actually applied to the Netflix Bridgerton cast and actually got rejected because of my experience. Didn't have enough experience. And then that came on and I actually did the whole 4 months press shoots of that. So I think it just upped my confidence and, you know, again, the pinch me moment, like, you know, I actually am here.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the most,
That's so cool.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, Lucia, your resume covers London, Paris, Copenhagen, Fashion Week, and big designers. What is the biggest difference between backstage runway hair and the real world glamour?
It's a tricky one because I think that it just depends on what you class as real world glamour. I think that in the fashion world, we actually do take on a lot of like nuances from the real world anyway. So I think it's more about uniform versus individuality. I think it's more about in the fashion world, everything does have to be quite uniform. You know, we're working to a brief. Everyone has to kind of look the same, regardless of individuality. And then I guess real world glamour is all about, you know, inward confidence, outward confidence, how you feel at the time, lifestyle choices. None of that gets considered in the fashion world, unfortunately. So I guess it's just realizing, you know, what direction the designer wants to go into. And it's also quite easier for the designer to kind of work on one sort of like character or one design, you know, inspired by shape, music, color, or anything like that, rather than having to create, you know, maybe 50 hairstyles for the whole of the models.
Yeah.
It also works quite seamlessly that way. So yeah, I think there's differences, but I think it's more so just about individuality and kind of having, you know, a conformed brief, really.
I always laugh because I always think it's the opposite of what people think. Real world women, for the most part, decent care of their hair.
They-
Celebrity, their hair is trash because they're always doing stuff. You know, people are cutting it, coloring it, putting stuff in it.
It's
just
so
like,
hard. It's
oh
so
my God, would you just let me love your hair for a week or two
Yeah.
and put it back in shape?
Honestly, every single time I'm on set, like the models, they're probably tired of me. I'm like, I wish I could take you back with me. Like,
Yeah,
I just want to treat you back in the salon and give you a treatment, because it is very hard for them. You know, unfortunately, they don't have the luxury of, you know, having their hair however they want it, whenever they want it. You know, they have to always, you know, either ask their agent or whoever it is they're speaking with. So it is hard for them. Very.
Part of look, it's change, you know, and they're constantly in transition where,
Exactly.
you know, but then so am I, and so is.
Yeah.
So I also was very amazed at your resume because you've got some incredible people you've worked with. You worked with Anna Fonte, and you worked with Nick Irwin, and you worked with Pablo Kuman. I mean, these are some major talented people. So can you share with us maybe some of the little changes or standards or tricks of the trade that you learned while you were working with them?
Definitely. I think that for the most part, all three of them have in common, I think their passion is super, super high. You know, just when you see them working, it's just like, oh my days, this person loves hair. Like, hands down. And I think for me, that was a massive eye-opener, because I think coming from like doing hair from solely passion, I didn't even think of it as a career choice. I was just like, I love to do this thing. And then sort of changing it into like the businessy environment, and then like, you know, the creative side of things, you kind of lose why you started, and it becomes a job. All of a sudden it becomes a routine, and then somewhere along the line you do lose that passion for a moment. And then when you work with people like that, you're almost like, oh my days, this is what the forefront should be. The passion, you know, the excitement, the love. So yeah, when I work with them, I think one of the things I gained from that is working in passion always. Understanding as well who you're working with, you know, where you're working, you know, what the brief entails. And yeah, I think having, you know, your love for hair put out first beyond anything. Yeah.
That's cool. Lulu's buzzword is always passion. That's the
right. You have to have that passion, you know. especially
more passion, more energy.
yeah, not only in this industry, but in any industry, you have to have passion. You have to love
100%.
what you do, and
Yeah.
and you can tell that you love what you do.
Yeah.
So, kind of go off when we're talking about texture. You were the lead stylist for the texture team,
Yes.
and recently, yeah, I was working on some braids. I go to
Yes.
Solid Go, where I can buy all my hair pieces and
Nice.
hair. Yeah, I just freaking buy a whole bunch of stuff. So I thought I could enter this contest.
Right.
So I always at the last minute think that I can do it all. Well, I reached a point in life that I can't. But it's fun. It was fun taking braids
Yeah.
or hair that's been textured and put them on a head form.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make a head form. There's different
Yeah.
ways
There's
you're doing
endless ways. Yeah.
Yeah, with masking tape, or you can make it with different things. Because I have attended so many classes.
Yeah.
But going back to texture, we had a guest earlier, I think this year, talked about the difference in cutting texture hair versus hair that's not texture.
Yeah.
And what tools you use, but you also have to have a system. So you were a lead stylist for the texture team. And can you tell us a little bit more about what that brought to you as a stylist?
Yeah, of course. I think that even just having the title in itself, I think definitely took me to a space that I didn't even know I wanted to be in.
Mm-hmm.
I have had so much experience in terms of salon, natural hair working, and then going to the other side where it's completely different. It's sort of like just the creative world. But I think the one thing that bridges that is just the knowledge of hair in itself, having that foundation that I was lucky enough to kind of go and find in college, because not everybody, there's so many, sort of self-taught stylists, which is absolutely amazing. But I think you lose that foundation. So I think going into that, seeing everyone's sort of like level points and just seeing that, obviously, again, the common ground was a love of hair. Taking that and then forming, even if you don't know how to do textured hair, but you know how to do maybe European hair, how do we then just bridge those together instead of making it sort of completely different things? I also think that as well, like, it's knowing that texture hair isn't a massive separate entity from hair. It's just, I think great work in textured hair means to have sort of that knowledge of hair in general, but also that sort of empathy for the person themselves, because I think that's the only difference. I think just knowing that background, being a little bit demure, a little bit light to the touch.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that you have to have the knowledge of hair, whether it's texture hair or hair that's not texture.
Yeah.
Just having that knowledge is so important.
So important, yeah.
I know, starting earlier in my career, I had went to some class, and one of the models had texture hair. So I did a beautiful consultation. I thought it was a beautiful consultation. And I told her, oh, we're going to take the sides, probably about chin length.
Yeah.
And so I brought her hair down. I cut it chin length, and it's
sprang back up.
to the middle of the ear. Because I learned so much. On how to consult.
Yeah.
I told the model that I was going to take it probably a little bit shorter.
Yes.
But when I blow dry it, it was fine.
Exactly.
Having that knowledge is so important.
So important, because you know what you're doing. It was just that tweak in that mind sort of shift, that although hair is hair, it's just like, for example, like a colorist, they would do little certain tweaks or something, a cutter, they would tweak, it all is hair, but there's different sort of bits, I guess, to it. And once you kind of tweak your hair knowledge here and there, just a little, you've got it, and you're just like, oh, how did I not, think of it that way? But like you said, once you blow dried it, you had a different sort of outlook on it. It was perfect. You did what you needed to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I always think we learn a lot more from our mistakes than we do from our successes, because once you back yourself in a corner, there's only one way out. Learn how to fix those little things. So yeah.
100%.
Well, you know, you've done film and TV. We've talked about Netflix. I know you've done commercials. You've done a lot of live shows.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest thing behind the scenes is in terms of from what people see on the camera? I mean, there's always like the two shows. There's what happens behind the curtain where the magic, and then there's the end product. Do you have some stories or things you can share with us?
For me, like the most scariest thing now that I know it's what it is, I'm okay, but like the scariest thing going into film especially, I think, is the continuity of it all. You can step into a film sort of like 3 months in and have no idea what's going on, but you're given the look and you're just like, okay, and then you're given like a continuity book where it's like the whole last 3 months of your character's hairstyles and you have to literally do the exact same thing. I think that was the most scary because I'm a perfectionist and I like things perfect, and it's almost like you can never get it the same as another stylist who's done it last month, you know? So it was like getting that sort of leeway but also making the camera look like nothing's changed. I think there's a hard balance between that. I think another thing is also like making hair look like it's not been touched. That is actually pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how hard until you kind of get into it, but I think that when the hair looks messy, you also just think, oh yeah, it's just do and go. But sometimes we actually wash it, blow dry it, prep it, and then sort of rough it up just so that it holds for the day. And you know, those little things I think are the key things to kind of hold on to.
Yeah, cool.
So, Lucia, you also have been trained in foundation and cancer hair care specialist.
Yeah.
And how has that changed the way you consult with the client or you approach your client and your confidence? Can you share that with the audience? Because that's so important, having that background in doing cancer hair. Yeah.
I think for me, it definitely stemmed when my mum passed away and I lost her to cancer. And I think after that, I felt a need to want to do more with what I had. I couldn't do much for her, and she was very adamant that she was okay with, you know, her choices, but I felt helpless. And I think that at a time where I thought that I wasn't doing enough, like I never actually thought hair would actually take me this far, and that's why I'm really so grateful, because I've worked so hard and I never actually thought, you know, this would actually be the outcome. But I think that when I, you know, thought it was just hair that I could offer, I'm like, how else can I expand it? And then I started looking online at just like, I actually wanted to do a course just actually to do teaching, just normal teaching. And then it just occurred to me, it was like, what would my mum want me to do? And I just thought, if I have this sort of gift, I like to say, then why not, you know, further it and help others, especially if knowing what someone actually is going through, their family is going through. I have a lot more personal feeling towards it, I guess. And it's really, really, really been really great. I think that I've helped few people. I really think that I'm looking forward to doing more in terms of events and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's in terms of how I feel consultating people. I feel like I can be quite close. I think that the confidence side, I think that does come from my mum mostly. I think she was just so strong since I've been a child that I think mostly like knowing that you're still beautiful with or without that, you know, the cancer is just that feeling inside is what makes you beautiful. And if I can make somebody feel that.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, that's so important. I know you probably don't know about us, but Sue has a company called Evolve Hair Solutions, which caters to people that have fine thinning hair, or, you know, people that have cancer.
That can also happen.
So, you know, when we first got into this, we realized that there's a whole group of women that are either bald or going through something, you know, physically or mentally. and they don't want to be seen in a salon.
Of course.
So Sue came up with this hair toppler that is called Evolve Hair Solutions, and it's you attach it onto if people have existing hair. I have clients that do not have any hair at all, so I use tape instead. But they leave it on for 4 to 6 weeks at the most. She just came out with now clip-ons instead of leaving it in for 4 to 6 weeks. So, she can tell you a little bit more about that. But, it goes to show you that there are so many women in need of that type of system.
Yep.
Whether they're going through something mentally, physically,
So many genetically. And that's what was so surprising to me, that when we got into it and you find, well, my mother has this, my aunt has this, my cousins have this. We'd have whole families of people that were, wearing our products. And part of why we got into the clip-ins, which is just an aside, because that was never our thing. We wanted to give women something that they could wear for 30 to 45 days, day and night, without necessarily using adhesives. Now, cradle to grave, many times you get to a point where there aren't options, but we went to clip-ins because after COVID, young women, working women who are just like, my hair's coming out in handfuls, it's just fine, it's not the same texture, and they just needed something to, like you said, give them their confidence back, make them feel like they could transition in the workplace again. Everybody kind of felt like we'd all missed a step, and for a lot of people, it's hard to go from having very thin hair to suddenly wearing a hairpiece.
Yeah.
So we look at things as gentle transitions, soft, gentle, natural transitions. Because, but I really relate to what you were saying about cancer, and I wish more people could look at our industry this way. Yes, our end goal is to make women look good, but the greatest gift is when you can make women feel good about themselves. That's where the magic
that is what gives me the goosebumps.
Yeah. So anyway, well, the other part of this, our audience, we started this when we first started the podcast, and people were like, we want to know a little bit more about the person. We had a lot of people who maybe aren't beauty industry people. I mean, we get it's kind of a mixed bag, but everybody likes to know about artists and iconic people and entrepreneurs, and so we did this thing called Rapid Fire. So we like to ask 5 quick questions, and we just ask you to answer like the first thing that comes off the top of your head. It's kind of like pulling back the curtain and letting people see just a little bit more about yourself. So would you be willing to do that?
Yes, I'm down.
Okay. All right, we're going to rock and roll.
Yes.
If you could only do one thing, would it be red carpet or runway?
It would have to be runway. Yeah. The fast pace of it all is just, I love it.
Okay. You're on a desert island and you can only have one product. What would it be?
I would have to say leave-in conditioner.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 bottle of leave-in conditioner is fine.
One tool you always double check to make sure you've packed.
And I can only say 1, right? Because I'm like, to be honest, they kind of tie in, but it would be my brush bag and my comb bag. I can't go anywhere without any of it.
Yeah.
Forget the products, just those 2.
And you're such a international star. For you, would you say London, Paris, or Copenhagen? Which one do you think has the best creativity?
100%
The best energy?
Paris, yeah.
Paris, yeah.
I feel like London is getting there, but definitely Paris.
The only thing is when I go to Paris, I gain too much weight because I have to eat all those delicious pastries.
The bread, the pasta, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and this is kind of a key one.
Yeah.
Finish this sentence. My signature as an artist is.
My signature as an artist, I would have to say, would be edges. My signature is edges, definitely. Yeah, anything sleek. I love like anything just sleek and yeah, that's me.
Cool. Edges. That's very interesting.
Very interesting, right?
Answer.
Are you talking about edges like
I'm talking
these
about
little
like
bitty hairs? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I knew that.
Yeah.
That would be my signature. Yeah.
Well, thank you for letting us take a peek behind the curtain and getting to know a little bit more about you. And we're going to hear a lot more about you going forward, no doubt in my mind. And we'd love to get together with you again sometime.
Would love that. I would absolutely love that. You guys have been amazing. This is so nice chatting and getting to know you guys as well, Sue, with your business.
Yeah. So, look us up and see.
Yeah.
You can tell us.
Evolve Hair Solutions.
Yes.
Check it out.
I will. 100%. Definitely.
This has been such a great conversation, and I love that you have built your career through being calm, being professional, and just being creative, and your resume says it all. Can you tell us, before we wrap up, can you tell us more about what's next?
Yes. So hoping, fingers crossed, I do want to get into some sort of teaching. I do want to get into a digital kind of training. I do have one video coming out in February with Schwarzkopf. It's a sort of textured outcome look onto the fashion industry and backstage with textured hair, basically. So that will be out on YouTube next month.
Yeah.
And then apart from that, I guess just keep on going. I mean, wherever God wants to take me, I think I definitely want to box up on the character-led hair care stuff. I really want to go heavy on that this year. But yeah.
And so, can you tell the audience where they can find you?
Of course. So you can find me on Instagram at Lucia Josephine Hair _, or TikTok at Lucia Josephine _ as well.
Yeah.
And I found you on Instagram. Yeah. And thank you so much on behalf on artists, icons, and entrepreneurs. And Sue and I just want to thank you for a great conversation. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Yes,
and interviewing you again.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies.
And if you're ever in Florida, drop by.
I'll hold you to that.
Or in Texas. Bye for now.
Thank you. To life.
Wow, what an episode. That wraps up another exciting edition of Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you're leaving inspired and ready to chase your dreams. Don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode over at youtube.com/Artists, Icons, Entrepreneurs, as well as Facebook at Lulu Benavides, on IG at Lulu Benavides, at Evolve Hair Solutions as well. And don't forget to visit our website at lulubenavides.com and evolvehairsolutions.com to stay updated. Until next time, keep dreaming big, creating boldly, and making your mark on the world. Thanks for listening, and take care, everyone.